Hello everyone, it is Mike here and welcome to another Rumble. We got a great one here for you tonight. It's Lee's picks. Surprise, surprise, at 24. Yes, we all know he's a big fan of 19, but I needed someone to put something together. And I was like, hey, can you put something together for me on this? And he came through. I gave him a list of 100 people. And he's good with random. He's good with random. We're kicking things off with Stan. Stan Marsh, which is one of my favorite South Park characters. So yeah, Lee put the list together. You're going to see all kinds of people. Cartoons, TV, horror, all kinds. There's all kinds that you're going to see in this. Good variety. There's an excellent variety. You're probably not going to see a lot of new faces, but you are going to see like a mixture. So it is another random one. And so who's Eric? I mean, not Eric, goodness. Stan gonna, oh my goodness, really? And of course he has Dominic's moves. Of course. Or his moves entrance, it looks like. Is that what it is? I can't tell from here. It kind of looks like it. And I love this creation. I think they did a really good job with it. And, yeah, it's a good one for Pixar. It's almost impossible to make. It's one of those very difficult ones to make. So we're kicking things off with Stan versus the Rat from Ratatouille. I've probably seen that movie once, maybe, when I was younger. I think it was when I was in probably my sophomore year of high school. We watched it in French class, which I think is ridiculous. It's like, really? Oh, yeah, because it's in France. We're going to... Oh, yeah, it's such a French movie, isn't it? And Creature from the Black Lagoon is number 3. One of my all-time favorites, and I love this creation. It's one of my favorites. Because it's just... I don't see how you can make it. I guess you have to put together all of the image manager stuff and, you know, all the scans. It probably takes a little while to make. It's probably not an easy one to do. And number 4 is Tupac. Yeah, this was one that we haven't had this year. But I did have him on the list, and I'm glad we're going to get to see him in action. We're going to get to see Tupac Shakur in action. One of the greatest of all time. Some people would say he is the greatest. I think he got cheated when it comes to, the whole GOAT conversation because, he died young. I think if he was still around, hands down the GOAT. But... some of these other guys have had 20 years now of music. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of you all still argue he's the best. And I'll just leave it to you all to argue over that. I am not a rap expert. And Gustavo Fring is in the house, my favorite. One of my favorite villains. Definitely the best villain of Breaking Bad. There's a lot of great villains in Breaking Bad, but he's the best one. He's definitely the best one. Because he's so calm, and and he's a professional. He's just a professional of how he works business, and I still think I don't want to give the show away. I'm going to just keep it at that. If you all haven't seen the show, but I think that he is a villain that I don't want to get into details. So you all can watch the show, and then if we all ever talk about it, there's just a certain aspect that I really like about his character. But I don't want to go into spoilers. But he is the best Breaking Bad. He's very calm, but he's sadistic when he has to be. But he has polite manners, all that stuff. It's just like... and ever since he did that role, you've seen this guy in how many villain roles now? He's in Far Cry 6. He's in Mandalorian as the villain. He's going to be in the new Captain America as the villain. So he's got a villain resume. And Courage is here. And we also got Bugs in the house. Yeah, fun fact, I didn't get to watch Courage a lot when I was a kid because my parents didn't like how the grandfather talked down to his wife and stuff. They didn't want me to hear that when I was young, so I actually didn't get to see a lot of that show. And now we are getting Ben 10. Ben 10, a lot of people love him. And Peter Pan is number 9. And no, Peter, you do not have the best peanut butter. Jif does. I will put that on my tombstone when I die. That Jif is the best peanut butter because it is. It is the best peanut butter ever. And I mean, everyone wants to argue. If they're going to bring up any kind, it's going to be, I guess, Smuckers or Peter Pan to try to compare to the GOAT Jif. There is only one GOAT and one GOAT only, and that is Jif. And there was a time where they had a recall. And I'll tell you what, I don't care if it's poison, I'll eat it. Because it's great peanut butter. It's the greatest peanut butter ever. Look at Courage here. What a nice takedown on Pac. You never thought you'd see this. You'll only see it here, though. You'll only see it here, so make sure you watch all the other ones that we've done. And Peter Pan, he's going to try to redeem himself, but he's a bum. He's a bum. That's what he is. I've never liked him. I'm not a big fan of that whole movie in general. I like the crocodile. That with the alarm clock in his mouth or whatever. That's kind of neat. I don't like any of the other characters. I don't even like Hook that good. It's just not, it was never my favorite. And Ben, all right, Ben gets rid of Pac, so that would never happen, by the way, but yeah, anything can happen here, though. Ben uses his watch against Pac. Pac's one of the best, though, I mean. And Gustavo still in it. Still alive. And there goes Bugs. So Bugs is finished. And now we have Indiana. So Indiana in the house. Mr. Social Security. Retirement check any second now. I know. I need to quit saying that. Someday Harrison Ford's going to come to my house and just deck me in the face. I probably need to stop saying that. I'm not a big fan of the franchise, though. I like the first 2 movies, and that's it. And Gustavo is finished, and Indiana is going... Well, I thought it was going to be a finisher, but it's not. And look at Ben. Oh, and Indiana tried to take down the creature. Yeah, I like Raiders of the Lost Ark, but 2's okay, and then 3 and 4, not so much. I don't think I've seen 5 yet. I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen clips of it and stuff. And 12 is Agent Smith. Agent Smith is number 12. So the Matrix and Courage is done. Mr. Anderson. Yeah. And look at Stan here going after the creature. And it's done. Wow. I'm surprised he got him. I mean, Stan's still in this thing. Stan is doing incredible. And I'm trying to think who started off with him. It was the Rat, wasn't it? The Rat didn't make it, though. The Rat doesn't have what it takes. He never did. He's a rat. Anyone that's a rat doesn't have what it takes. And 13 is Mordecai. So I don't know anything about this guy. Regular show, something like that. A lot of people love him, though. So welcome. Welcome aboard. And number 14, Walter White. So we had Gustavo Fring earlier, and now we got Walter White, one of the greatest TV characters ever. Breaking Bad, greatest anti-hero perhaps. Even though near the end I hated the guy. I can't lie. I'm more of a Jesse Pinkman fan. If I have to choose between the two, I mean, Walt's a monster. And he becomes a monster. That's how great writing is. You can take a character and, by season 1 you feel bad for him, and by season 5 this is the most heinous person ever. And that's why Breaking Bad has some of the best writing ever. And also they didn't drag out. 5 seasons is perfect for a show. If you do like Supernatural and have 100,000 seasons, or One Piece and have how many episodes? Enough to, by the time I finish it, I'm in the nursing home. That many? Is that what it is? And, pin 10 got, wow, no Walt's still in. Who was that? Oh, Indiana. So, yep. You're going to have to collect your retirement check now, Andy. It's in the locker room. You can just stop by the manager's office, and we will hand you your retirement check. I am going to get so much heat for that. I'm going to get hit with that rope. Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark is so good. The other ones, I do love the scene where that guy, you know, and I feel like I could give a little bit of spoilers here. I do love the scene where that guy, you know, swings his sword crazy, and he, you know, comes off as really hardcore, and then Indiana just shoots him. I think that's in number 2. I might be wrong. It could be the first one. But I did like that scene. And Stan, wow, Stan has had one heck of a performance. And I'm excited to see how far he can go. I mean, we're already about 16 minutes in. And 15 is Wreck-It Ralph. I still haven't seen that. I heard it's a great one, though. And Agent Smith still in. Still hanging on. 16 is... oh, me. Scrooge McDuck. That is definitely me. Mr. Doesn't want to spend any money. By the way, Prime Day's tomorrow. So, we'll see if I'm still going to be Scrooge McDuck. At the time I'm doing this, at least. Prime Day's tomorrow. So, maybe I'll get another monitor. We'll see. We shall see. And 17's Urkel. So that one was made by Lucas. A lot of you all have asked which ones Lucas do. He did that one, and he did a wonderful job. That's probably one of the best face scans. Definitely. Oh, it's Billy Butcher. Yes, from The Boys. And a lot of people talk about the whole, you know, dynamic. And at the time, you know, the whole dynamic. And at the time I'm doing this, the season 4 hasn't ended yet. But everyone talks about the whole dynamic with him and Homelander, the rivalry that those two have. And really, I know a lot of people hate Homelander. Even though he's a great written character, whether you like it or not. And Stan's finally done, by the way. But I hope no one gets Homelander except for Billy. Because I don't want to see, like, Starlight or the rest of them take down Homelander in the end. It's got to be Billy. And if I could think of the perfect ending for Season 5, because they're only going to go 5 seasons with this, which is perfect once again. 5 seasons. But if I could think of the best way to go, Billy Butcher and Homelander die together. They have to die together. Because all of Billy's problems is, well, he has all kinds of problems. But the core of his goal is to get Homelander. And if anybody else gets him, then it's not going to be fun. But if Billy gets him, definitely going to be fun. And we got Voss here, which is voiced perfectly by Michael Mondo. Also part of Better Call Saul. And Far Cry 3 villain, one of the best video game villains ever. Not a lot of people know about him. If you haven't played Far Cry, you probably haven't even heard of him. But he is one of the best villains, and he quotes one of the most memorable quotes. What is the definition of insanity? Which I'm sure people have quoted before, but I mean, no one does it better than Voss. If you ask me, he's the definition of insanity. But yeah, I mean, his performance is so good in that. And I believe it's Nacho from Better Call Saul voices him. I'm almost 100% on that. And Walter White is done. And Urkel is in trouble. Oh, wow, Urkel. And the way Butcher's doing there, he's not going to beat Homelander if he cannot beat Urkel. So that was pretty sad. And that would never happen, by the way. Billy Butcher would squeeze Urkel's eyes out. Urkel wouldn't stand a chance. So, you know, there's a lot of unrealistic stuff about this. And we got Mando in the house. I cannot wait for that movie. That's the only thing Disney's doing right with Star Wars, besides Andor. Andor is pretty good, too. But the Acolyte, oh my goodness. I might need therapy for the Acolyte. That's how bad the writing is. So, yeah. I mainly watch it to see all the Star Wars fans get mad. I kind of like seeing them get angry. I'm not going to lie. And I just do not believe. I feel like almost to the point, like, you know, I guess Star Trek and Star Wars have a rivalry. And I feel like it's getting to the point where the people making Star Wars are Star Trek fans posing as Star Wars fans trying to ruin the brand. That's what I think's happening. They have something against Star Wars fans because, I mean, the writing's not just bad. It's almost like it's being intentionally bad to destroy the franchise's reputation. I've never seen nothing like it. And, you know, Marvel's had its missteps, but it wasn't like they went out of their way to destroy it. And we got Kyle at 22. And, yeah, that is just insane. Some of the writing on that. I mean, I would have to go into a whole description of every single problem because it is outrageous, some of the problems in the show. But anyway, by the time you see it, it'll probably be over with. I doubt if the final episode, by the time you see this, it'll probably be over with. And I've seen the first 7, but I'm sure the last episode isn't going to save it. I mean, there's no way you can. It doesn't matter how big of the finale is. If the build-up's terrible, it doesn't matter. There has been times where endings were really good, but the movie wasn't good. But in the case of a show, it's harder to pull off. There's been a couple movies with weird endings, like The Tourist. Oh my goodness, what was that? You know, that was one of the weirdest endings I've ever seen in my life. The Tourist. With Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. That was like, it was a plot twist that didn't make any sense whatsoever. If you ever see that, I recommend it. Because it's so ridiculous. It's not a bad movie, though. But the ending's just ridiculous. I can't think of any. I would have to sit down and think of some of the other worst endings. Some people don't like The Mist, the ending to The Mist, but I think it's hilarious. In a dark humor sort of way. It's terrible, but it's hilarious at the same time. And now I'm going to get called heartless for sure, but I don't care. I'm heartless like the weekend. And Victor Crowley, man, I'm telling you, he is a beast. And he is definitely going to cause some problems here. And 24's Rogan. I haven't watched his podcast in a little bit. Usually I just watch him when he has like people I'm interested on. I'm not like a diehard fan, but I would say he's the go to podcasting. But I don't agree with everything he says, and also some of his guests I have no interest in. But some of them I do, so it just depends on what guest. And there's been a couple guests I've watched the whole entire thing. Like Zack Snyder, Quentin Tarantino. Who else has he had on? Very interesting. Yeah, he's had some good comedians and some good UFC fighters too. But some of those people I don't know, and especially the archaeologist people, I don't care. I just don't care. And Baymax has been eliminated. One of the best guests he ever had on was the Sleep Guy. I highly recommend someone watch that. That was a really good one. He's like a sleep expert. And some of the stuff he said will make you rethink how you sleep. Because, I mean, it's kind of like scary. And Buzz is number 25. We got Buzz in the house. To infinity and beyond. I still love Toy Story. I don't care how old I am. I'll be 80 years old in the nursing home. I'll still love it. It's great. It's just, it's meant for everyone. Everyone needs to see it. The first 3. Well, 4. Yeah, 4's good too. Two's pretty good, but the other 3 are excellent. So 2's like a 7 out of 10, and then the others are 8 and above. And I would probably give the first one like a 9. Easily. It's definitely one of the best. And we got Lotto. Speaking of that, from number 3, he's such a great character. Yeah, 2's the definitely the weakest of the 4, in my opinion. And I'll tell you, there's a really funny thing about Toy Story that I probably have told you all before, but there was when 4 came out, before 4 came out, there was a fake spoiler saying that Woody died. They basically was all these lies going on online, acting like fake leaks that Woody dies in the movie. So I got mad but I still went and saw it. And I was sitting there watching it, and I was waiting for it to happen. I don't know if I've told you all this or not, maybe once. But I'm sitting there, and there's a part where he gets chewed up pretty bad by a dog. And I was thinking, oh, this is the moment. This is the moment he dies. Because the dog gets a hold of him, and he's trying to pull him apart or something. And then he doesn't die. And by the end of the movie, I'm sitting there saying, and they also said it was very emotional. So on top of that, the sad part with him dying went together, in my opinion. But it was emotional for other reasons. So I'm sitting there thinking, he's going to die. And then he doesn't. And it was nothing but a lie on the internet. Thank you. Thanks a lot. How cruel can you be? Saying Woody's going to die? Speaking of someone who's tough, Morgan Freeman here. I don't know how old he is. I can never tell. He seems like he's looked old his whole entire life. Like in the 80s, he looks like he's 60, and I just don't know how old this guy is. He's probably in his 80s by now. I haven't seen him in much here lately, but the dude is so old. He always has looked old. That's the thing. He doesn't age. He just stays old. He's looked like that ever since the 80s, which is crazy. I mean, he looks old in 7. He looks like he's 60-something in 7. And maybe he is. He's like Clint Eastwood, though. He won't. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, and hopefully at the time I'm saying this, nothing happens. You know. Watch me put this out, and then as soon as before you see it, something happens. That would be terrible. I better not say anything. I'm gonna jinx it. But Clint's one of the best of all time. He is one of the. And there goes Rogan. So Lotso takes care of him. And 30's Hook. So I was watching Clint. I can't believe how old. He's in his 90s, I think. So he's older. But anyway. Morgan's in trouble. And we got Wonka and Hook working together there. Nice double team. Finishes Freeman off. Poor Freeman. And Wonka's done. We're down to our final four. I think Kyle's been in here the longest. The South Park characters are really standing tall in this. Stan had a great performance. I knew he wasn't going to win, but he had a great performance still. You got to give him credit where credit's due. And we are now down to four. Four remain in this. And hopefully Hook doesn't win, though. Hopefully Hook does not win. That is the last thing we need to see. Is number 30, especially him. I'll bring the crocodile in if he does. Or is it an alligator? I think it's a crocodile. I've always had problems with that. I'm pretty sure it's a crocodile, though. I'll bring the crocodile here if he wins. He's not going to Mania. And Kyle. All right. So we are now down to three. Lotso is out of the picture. I'm rooting for Kyle here. I think he's been in here the longest of the three. I think Buzz, was he like 26, 25? Kyle was before him, but I forget the number. I've been very forgetful lately. I know Hook's number 30, the dirty old thing. At least Captain Hook will agree with me that Jif Peanut Butter's the best, because he definitely doesn't like Peter Pan peanut butter. That is for sure. And Kyle tried to get rid of Hook. And it did not work out there. And these three are really giving it their all. But I hope they can get rid of Hook at least. And there goes Hook, thank goodness. So we are down to 2. Hook is finished. And Kyle has a good shot here, but a good counter there by Buzz. And I'm telling you, Buzz, he's going to be tough, especially the size, the attire. It's going to be tough to take him down. And he is not playing games here. He is treating Kyle like he's the evil Emperor Zurg. And Buzz, if he flips him, he gets him. Can Kyle hang on here? I don't think anyone likes Kyle's mother. Nobody likes her. And look at Kyle here. All right. And it started with South Park and it ended with South Park. I love it. And Kyle wins. Is he going to Mania? No. He's not going to WrestleMania. I'll give him free parking, a discount on a hot dog. I'm not going to give him WrestleMania, though. He was like in the early 20s, so I got to give him credit. That's still impressive. I should, but I'm feeling heartless tonight. I've been pretty mean tonight, so I'm not going to allow him to go. But still, wow, what a performance. I will give him the benefits, though, of the free parking pass and a free hot dog. How about that? But he's not going. But good picks by Lee. Lee did really good in this 24 one. And usually he does 19 because that's his favorite. But tonight, I was like, I need to do something on this, and he fixed me right up. So shout outs to him. He did a great job there. And what a great ending there by Kyle, winning this thing. He's not going to Mania, though, but I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I will see you all later. Thank you, Lee, again for the great picks.